That's my point, that the people who built it didn't build it to be looked at and
like that.
Or, you know, they just built it because it was practical and this was the way they built the barn. So
but it takes
I don't think they made it a
point,
work of
though,
art. So who's
it?
turned it into a work of art since then?
Perhaps the observer has, but that's what we were talking about at the beginning, which was you might have made a song or something and you see it one way and then your audience come out and they've seen it in 11 different ways that you never thought of.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that their appreciation of it isn't valid just because as the artist you didn't think of them.
No, that's fair.
I mean, you could say anything is non-art and anything is art at the end of the day if you wanted to cover all the
What about next time?
What are we agreeing is non-art?
We're not.
Really straightforward though. I mean, what is non-art?
In my opinion, it's something that just doesn't get recognised by anybody as anything noticeable, having a purpose beyond its purpose. So if you were to just, if no one was ever to walk past something and ever take point of it or notice it, and no one was ever going to take credit for creating it, then that perhaps wouldn't be considered a piece of art.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
I think it's just something accidental. It's not art. If it's accidental, it's not art. It's deliberate. You can make it art.
Okay. So, lamppost. Art, non-art?
Depends on the lamp. It depends.
In my opinion, if everybody walked past it and never noticed it as anything more than a lamppost that gave them light, then that wouldn't be a piece of art. You could have singing in the rain, you've got a guy swinging around it with his umbrella doing a song, and that's automatically a major part of his dance.
So the lamppost becomes a signifier for art, like a symbol of something artistic. Okay.
That's my opinion. That doesn't mean that's what everyone else
Again, doesn't it come back to whoever created it? If they created that lamppost to cast light, and that was it, then it's a lamppost. If they created it and then said, well, let's make it look pretty, then it becomes a work of art.
Because
does something have to look pretty to be?
Well,
I mean, he designed
pretty's not the best
it.
word. Let's make it look pleasing.
Designers, like engineers, don't just design something for it completely functional. They're constantly considering the way it looks and the aesthetics of the item, no matter how practical the item might be.
Is architecture an art form?
I think so.
I think
An architect is essentially an engineer.
I'll tell you what, going back to lampposts though, my in-laws in Lyme Regis is a really beautiful part of the south coast. They always point out lampposts to me, which is why I wanted to mention it, because where they live, it's like the fossil beach. You know, it's where fossils were found originally, and the lampposts, although very functional, they had, I think, some kind of competition or possibly some kind of design was brought in to create these little curly bits of ironwork to go under, to go just underneath the lamp of the actual lamppost, and they're shaped like fossil shells, like big, coiled shells. And I can never say.
Ammonite.
Ammonite.
Ammonite. Yeah, ammonite.
And there is absolutely no good reason why they need to have that there, but it's all along the seafront, and as you're walking along, you think, oh, that's just a really nice lamp.
But if you go and look at any of the lamps by embankment, you consider all of them a work of art.
What about a lamppost covered in wanted, missing dog posters?
Well, if someone was to take a photograph of it and put it in an exhibition and make that a statement about that area, then that would be.
What about just put the lamppost in an exhibition?
Again, that would be, I would consider that a work of art. You have a lamppost as a stage prop.
But is it art the moment it goes into the gallery, or is it art from the moment they perceived it as such and thought, I'm going to put this in a gallery? Or I would like to put this in a gallery.
I think if there's only one person that it appeals to as a piece of art, then it's only ever going to be a piece of art to them. No one else recognises it.
Does art, I don't have an answer to this question, but I was just wondering whether something has to be social to be art, If I just stay at home and make something and it pleases me and I'm doing creative work and, whatever, but do I have to actually share that with another person for it to be art?
It's the whole, like,
it's something you do. I think sharing it yourself. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah. Well, very confusing with that kid in the film was filmed with a plastic bag flying around in the air. Like, oh my god, it's so beautiful!
He cries, you just see it crying.
God, it's amazing and stuff. And it's like, well, to him, that's a piece of art, and maybe to a few other arty-farty types, they'd go, wow, this is a piece of visual art, it's amazing, let's put it up and sell it to someone. But to most people, they just see that as a bit of rubbish blowing the wind. So it is about recognition, I think. It may be right, but it needs to be socially recognised.
That was just a thought. I don't know. I don't have a feeling.
That's just hated by so many people.
Tracy Emin's bed was, I mean, as far as I know, was completely transplanted, completely just exactly as it was.
Yeah, it's just a mattress, wasn't it? Tracy Emin's bed, the mattress and the bucket with a cactus on it. Was that someone else's bed?
I think that's someone else's bed.
I remember seeing a really dirty mattress folded up against the wall, and had a bucket on one side and a cactus on the other, obviously phallic symbols and stuff was around on a dirty bed. Sarah Lucas. Oh, Sarah Lucas.
The significance of the bed for me was that it was such an intimate space, you know, and it had been, you know, robbed of its kind of original, you know, atmosphere and placed in a gallery, you know, in an entirely kind of institutional public space, and so it created like a, you know, a conflict there.
Would you have been as moved by Tracy Emin's bed if you had gone to see it in her bedroom on your own?
No, would you notice it even?
No,
it's just a function. It's
so that's when it's non-art, when it remains in her house, your volume person viewing it.
That makes sense.
And would it be then art once it's in the art gallery?
Well, it's like removed from its context. I mean,
what if it was taken out onto the street and left on her street corner? And you were one of many millions of wonders.
I
just think that's tricky because a lot of photographers really like taking pictures of furniture in alleyways because it reminds them of the degradation.
But if you went to if you were walking past and you saw Tracy Emin's bed transplanted from her bedroom to the street corner,
if it wasn't in an art with all the sheets on it and still perfectly made,
exactly as it was exhibited.
Yeah, I consider it as an advert actually. I saw something very similar which had a couple of people sitting in a bed. They had wheels on it, being pulled behind a car and they were waving to people, and that was an advertisement.
So what you're getting at is that do we have to be told something is art in order it becomes art?
Yeah. I mean, it's non-art. I would agree with you. I would agree with Andrew, but I would not necessarily consider it art. If I was to view the bed, Tracy Emin did something out of the bed, and then says, right, this is my latest artwork. Come in and have a look. Right, one by one, you'll troop in and you look at her bed. I would personally not count that as art. I would say that's not art. However, the fact that it was scooped up and the effort as well to take, I mean, who knows what actually happened, the effort to actually transplant it exactly as it was into the gallery space, and then it was curated, you know, people actually tried to slot it into the rest of the exhibition and so on. That's when it became art for me. But
what is the question though?
Does it have to be effort? Why does the effort make it difficult?
No, but that's interesting. What if all of Tracy Emin's bedroom had been recreated in a room as part of an exhibition, so that when you're walking from one room and you go into another room, it's exactly Tracy Emin's bedroom and you walk out again? A lot of people would consider that to be
Sophie Camp in the property centre.
I mean,
hers was an amazing installation where she got people to come into her bedroom and film them sleeping. So it was a bit of an Andy Warhol play as well, but it was an extension of that kind of Tracy Emin bed almost, but in such a magical way. And that really is, you know, it's questionable whether that's art, but it's a really old hat principle to question whether something is art.
Yeah, I definitely heard about a woman lying in a glass box as being an installation piece in a gallery a couple of years ago, where it was a glass box, she'd get in and she'd lie in it, and walk around, and at the end of the day she'd get out again. And that was a piece of artwork.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, is it something that's constructed as outside of its context, or to be noticed, or to be considered even, just to be considered as not just...
Maybe it's, you know, simply when something stops being an object in its own right and takes on a higher meaning, a higher purpose.
Well, yeah.
Like the inspiration.
When it forces people to question.
Yeah.
But then you can use a shoe as a mug, and that's not necessarily art, is it?